Hello. Today I'm going to break down some of the things in the Superman trailer for you. Let's take a look. The Arctic, most likely where the Fortress of Solitude is. Superman crashing into the ice after taking a major beatdown, most likely by Ultraman, who is, in some accounts, yes, NEKO, the cat has comments, is from a multiverse, different Earth, where he's Superman of that world, but he's evil. Or he could be a clone in this movie. Most likely he's Superman, but an evil version. That's why they have the mask all over him. But he has the U-shape logo and name that matches up with the alternate Earth. We got the Clark Kent, got that bushy hair. Every time they showed pictures of him working out at the gym, he had a hat on or a toboggan, and you were like, what's going on with the hair? Why do they keep, even in cast photo, Lex has the shaved head, Nicholas Holt, and he's got a hat on. And you're like, something's going on, and here it is. And we saw some of this with leaked footage. They really poofed up the hair in the front, frames the face, they got the goofy glasses on. He appears taller than Superman, because it's tough to get Superman up in the air, give him a little lift, something like that. So why not take advantage of that? Make Clark even taller and lankier and goofier, a little, just kind of a klutz and a nerd, and it was just too tall and nerdy. But the face is more covered, and then when you sweep the hair back, you get Superman. And everyone, it gives him more of that. It's hard to pin down the Clark and Superman. You want to believe. Christopher Reeve did such a great job. I think he parted his hair the opposite way for Clark. And he stood up as Superman, really threw those shoulders back. And he leaned down, and he was timid and mild, meek and mild-mannered. He did a great job. And he's doing great. He just clutch. As soon as you get near the building, anyone could be working with him. He knows people could be on the street, people looking out the window. Yeah. Daily Planet. Did you see the cop reading the newspaper? He's sitting on the shoe shine stand or something, not paying attention to anything. Here he is. He's really in bad shape. He sounds like he's collapsed a lung. His breathing's real bad. Jennings Gunn. There's Wendy Clark, Lois Lane, Mrs. Maisel. For you Amazon fans on Amazon series. Director of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. There's Pa Kent, Bad News. Either he's a little younger there. And it looks like super bad news. Maybe in this version, Ma Kent passes away instead of Dad, most likely. They did cast Ma Kent, so you'll get to see her, or maybe in a flashback, or whatever happened. This summer, whistling, we know now, he's whistling for Krypto. And in the comics, oh my gosh, there's been super horse, super monkeys, super cat, Streaky the super cat for a Supergirl. In the Supergirl movie, Krypto is in the story that this movie's based on. It's based on the comic by Tom King, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And Krypto was in a small role. They might put him in, or they might leave him out for, they're like, it's not that necessary, but there is a push in the storyline that justifies Supergirl helping this other girl, and Krypto has something to do with that. So it's like, he might be in it. Cute dog. Put him in the other movie too. Isn't that right, NEKO? You want to see a doggy in a movie? He's no. No. Here he comes, kicking up a storm. It begins. Here's Krypto. Everyone online reacting to this movie is like, half of them figure out it's Krypto. But when they see the cute little doggy, because a lot of times Krypto's a little bulkier, a little fluffier, bigger, a little bigger kind of dog when they do bring him to live action. So this is a good surprise. He doesn't have to be a big dog because he's super. Home. Take me home. Saves the little girl. Hopefully. I mean, he looks pretty distressed when he went into Stag Industries. Hopefully he saves Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our age. The engineer is there. One of the girls that's bad girl for the movie, the villain, because you have other heroes in the movie, so you can have other villains. So she's right there. Probably a kryptonite bullet in that gun. It would be more dramatic than loading a whole clip full to wouldn't it? Now technically Metamorpho was in one of those cells next to him. But he's busting his way out. There's probably something that kept him from doing that earlier and he got out. Here's a little kid calling for Superman. Yeah. The hell. Everybody's mad at him. Something's happened. One theory online was he didn't save the city. He tried to keep the monster, killing the monster, while the other heroes had no problem killing the giant kaiju. Superman will probably be like, we know we can stop him without killing him. And probably the buildings came down. Yeah, bad stuff happened. Something must have happened. And he's blaming himself. There's Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. They're all wearing a logo in the center for Maxwell Lord's company. Now there are the Terrifics in the comics, which Mr. Terrific formed with Metamorpho, but he was also Plastic Man and Phantom Girl. But in this, Mr. Terrific, maybe he needs the financing of Maxwell Lord, but he's the third smartest person in the DC universe, with Batman and Lex Luthor are fighting for #1. So Mr. Terrific is supposed to have the biggest role of all these guys, according to James Gunn. Guy Gardner, if you're not familiar, in the comics, he was the first substitute Green Lantern. Like if something happens to your Green Lantern, the ring will fly off and find a substitute to take over. And Guy Gardner was the substitute, but then he broke his back or something happened, and that was it for him. But he was arrogant and snooty, and it was just a pain in the ass. But of course, it's the comics. He gets healed, and he becomes like another group. John Stewart, Great Lantern, will be in the new Lantern show with Hal Jordan. And they'll be doing like a True Detective type show. And Guy could make an appearance. There are other, in the comics, they're overloading with, franchise type heroes. There's a Superman from China. There are 2 little super kids from somewhere. They had introduced Power Girl to an alternate universe where the Justice Society was, back the old classic heroes from World War II, even a Batman and Superman from that era. And Power Girl was the Supergirl, but she was older. And there was a huntress on that world that was actually Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle's daughter grew up to become Huntress. And there's a Huntress in the comics that's not the copy. She's like with the mob's daughter, and she's a different alternative Huntress in the comics. So we'll see how they handle Guy Gardner. Probably arrogant, rude, self-centered, probably part of this Maxwell Lord enterprise while he's on Earth. And maybe if the Guardians call him to do anything in space, he takes off and wears his regular Green Lantern outfit. Probably getting some money for this, But he looks a little pissed, like something Superman's done has pissed him off. And he's put a curtain or just kind of blocked the view of everybody while they had that little chat. There's Hawk Girl also wearing the uniform. We don't have a Hawk Man, but she's got the traditional mace. And she's going in. No problem for the kill, if she has to do it. And there's a kaiju. Yay! My audiobook now is the Kaiju Preservation Society. It's pretty good. Will Wheaton is, yes, Wesley Crusher from Star Trek Next Generation is the narrator, and he's doing a good job with the narration. I'm not overly impressed with the book. I checked Internet Movie Database. Nobody seems to be wanting to make it into a movie anytime soon. So far it's just been interesting and good, but interesting so far. Still into it. Got another hour or two to go. Come on, and they explain a lot of the science of the kaiju in the book. So, they all like to breathe fire, don't they? Don't they, NEKO? And that thing, we're not sure what that is, but that was Kellex, the robot. Usually he's more of a levitating robot, but that has to be Kellex. That's Jor-El's robot sent to Earth to help instruct the little baby Kyle, which is Superman's Kryptonian name. That's the Fortress of Solitude, most likely, being grown and built. But something has happened to him, Kellex, and he's probably known Kellex his whole life. And maybe mommy and daddy's voice comes through Kellex, and they get that. He gets the instruction from his parents, but Kellex is probably there. He probably saved, when he goes to the home, they go to the fortress, and Kellex probably saves him. If he got a kryptonite bullet in him while Ultraman was giving him a beat down. That way Lex could help. And the internet, there's an international trailer that does show Lex and the bad guys that appear to be going into the fortress. So that's Metamorpho, will be played, I can't remember his name. He was in Barry, bald-headed guy. And it was always, he should have died early in the show, but he kept getting lucky, and everyone else would die, and he would come out okay. And you're like, oh my gosh, here goes the buildings down, Metropolis buildings, tons of lives lost, had to be. But Metamorpho, you'll see Stag Industries on the computer monitor. He was created with Stag Industries, an accident. His name's Rex Mason. He was dating the boss's daughter. Mr. Stag wasn't really great on that, so he talked him into going through this experiment, and he volunteers and gets changed into this Metamorpho Element Man, where he can become solids, liquids, gases, and he was always called the freak that never fails. And he was part of the Terrifics team in the comics. They're obviously not going to do that version of it, but they Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific, who's very smart and is right up there with Lex, so he's got all his gadgets you'll get to see. He has the T across his face mask. Lex has obviously been injured. There's a little boy. There's he pushing back the kaiju. Go away, kaiju. Kaiju. Baby Godzilla. There's Krypto pulling him home. There's Ultraman smashing around the Metropolis Meteors baseball team. There he is. That appears to be Lois Lane probably down there. And these are, look like Lex troops of some kind, probably guys in costumes. Could be robots, but it looks more like guys in costumes firing on Mr. Terrific. And the balls and the spears above he created. And they create force fields. They do different things for him. And the fair play on his arm is the logo. Back in World War II or Earth 2, that alternate universe. Now the comics have combined all the storylines and gotten the war, some of the World War II happened, but then they were like, I can't remember what they did to them. You're frozen in time, like Steve Rogers, all of them are sent into the future or something. So they're not as old as they should be. but now they're in present time, so they have a Justice Society steel team. They can sell comic books on with the old guys there, and they are older, and they've even worked out the Green Lantern of Earth too, having some connection with the Guardians. Got to make it all work, and there's several Green Lanterns now on Earth, and there's people in the Batman family, lots of Robins, Batgirl, Batwoman, you know, that family, all of them have families. Spider-Man now has Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, they're building up, you know, everyone's gonna have their thing. Hey, Nikki, you don't like me doing videos, do you? No, you wanna play with a bird. There's a bird. Get that. Get that bird. You wanna jump into the picture? Huh? You jump, 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 jump. There's a boy, you're in the picture. Okay, come on, put that down. There he goes, up and away. There's that funny thing that was some of the first art release with that odd spear. No one knows what that is. And it looks kind of goofy. It looks kind of like this ball with little fluffy things on it. And it could be some early part of the movie. All this could be early in the movie, pretty much. Just to tease, you know, what's to come. And maybe it's just some thing he has to go, casually gets out and goes out and stops. Because he looks like he's just putting the boots on the picture. Like, oh, well, I'm probably over at Lois's place. Or maybe he and Lois already have a place together. Only in theaters, IMAX. And you'll notice that the title of the movie is not in the trailer. Why bother, right? The world knows this is Superman. And it's got so many views. Disney's got to be freaking out. They own Marvel, and here's a DC movie comes out, and the trailers, everyone's watching this trailer. I think I heard it was the 5th most watched trailer in history. And all those other trailers made $1 billion at the box office. So we're going to see. Gunn's good at trailers. If you go back and watch the Suicide Squad trailers, they're excellent. Got that beat, you get that Top Gun Maverick sound on this trailer. That's kind of the electric guitar version of John Williams' original theme. It's very cool, the sounds. It's amazing, but they kind of has that Top Gun Maverick feel. Top Gun had that electric guitar feel. So I think it's going to be great. David Cornsweet looks the part. I think they're pushing Clark to be a little taller and lankier. That way they can have the bulkier, and it's hard to lift up Superman, so you just get him down low and a little shorter. And that helps make them look different. Simple. So every little trick you can do to make them different. I'm sure the makeup's different, you know, shadowings and different things. Any trick, they're not going to change the color of the eyes just for Clark and Superman, because that would be too obvious to the audience that, hey, y'all screwed around. No, it's not like that. A lot of the Green Lanterns in the comics, though, have the green glow to their eyes with the energy running through them from the power rings. So that would be something to look for, if that ever glitz. And if there's mention of a Hawkman. The interesting origin of Hawkgirl and Hawkman are there from the planet Thangar, and they're police officers. In some incarnations, their wings come off, in some they're permanent, and there are different styles on some versions where people have like a metallic wing, and the gray feathers seem to be popular with Hawkman and Hawkgirl usually. I would be like, well, if it's part of their body and she has kind of reddish hair, then they should give her the reddish feathers. Although this is going to be played by the girl, I believe that was Dora the Explorer, and when she was younger. So should be neat. Should be neat to see. And For All Mankind star, he has kind of the Elon Musk role in For All Mankind. He's Mr. Terrific. He should be great. He was great in For All Mankind. And Cornsweet was in the Netflix series Hollywood, which was very good. So enjoy, and we're going to get supposedly guest appearance from Supergirl in the movie. Miley Adcock is her name, I believe. She was in the original couple episodes of House of the Dragon and just stole that away. Right, Nico? You like those little dragons? Yeah, we like the dragons. So enjoy Superman. Sit back and wait for that next trailer to come out with a little bit of plot and a little bit more dialogue. You didn't get much dialogue in this one. You got the little boy saying Superman and Krypto home, and that's about it. Right? And we got your little bird. We got your bird. Get in. Get in. Don't. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh boy. That's exciting. That's almost as exciting as Superman. Right, Nico? You got him by the neck. How do they know to get him by the neck? You know? They say cats have that natural killer instinct in them. The first time he played with the toy, he grabbed a little bird we had for him by the neck and carries it over. And we were like, how does he know to grab it by the neck? You know, where did you learn that, Nico? Oh boy. Okay. So that's a little bit of a breakdown, a little bit of what are you watching? What do we got here? So enjoy, like and subscribe if you learned anything, and we'll see you again.